Well, hi and welcome everyone. I'm Kristine Fisher, your host of this edition of Cape Ann ARTWaves, a weekly program dedicated to interesting conversations, or so I hope, with artists and makers from Cape Ann and beyond. My special guests today are Jill, Whitney Armstrong, and Bob Armstrong. They are a tremendously talented team. They are both local artists. Jill is a highly respected painter. Her work was selected to be part of a major exhibition in Boston at Boston State House in 2019, representing Cape Ann artists. Bob is an equally talented writer, poet, musicophile. I know firsthand what a fabulous curator of music he is. Their gallery, iArt Colony, located in Rockport, is a destination for their thoughtfully curated exhibitions. Dare I say, they have hundreds of people attending their openings. You have to elbow your way in. They are sought after curators, and that's a special art unto itself, and very connected to the art scene here locally on Cape Ann, as well as Boston and across New England. Honestly, I feel like you can't put Jill and Bob in a box. They are an event unto themselves. So a big welcome to both of you. I'm thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Kristine. Thank you, Kristine 23. Really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, of course, you bet, you bet. So why don't we just dive right in? I'd love to learn, because your story is so unique, and I have a feeling that a lot of our listeners might not know about your early origins. So why don't you do a little storytelling and tell us how you two met, and let's let it just grow from there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, because I really do feel like Cape Ann has really a tremendous heart and soul, and they believe in their people, and sometimes I don't think people realize how ingrained we are on
Yes,
Cape Ann.
right.
So in 1970, the story I tell is we both arrived at Good Harbor Beach in 1970. Bob was 4 and I was a fetus, but technically we still smelled the same salt air that year. And the funny thing is once we got together, I would look at his family photo albums, and I thought, we have the exact same pictures, the exact same backdrop, except we have different angles of Salt Islands.
Oh,
and so that's why I sent to you 2 pictures of Bobby in his little blonde mop and a potato sack, and you can see the back end of the island.
Oh my God, it's so vintage. It's a great shot. Yeah.
As my father said, it's a sepia color, the 2 photos. So they match up, they pair up pretty well. And so mine is building a sandcastle with the front end of the island, Turtlehead, as everybody romantically calls it. And then my mother and I bought a house on Bass Ave in Good Harbor Beach. So one day I was told a mutual friend of ours was going to be at Good Harbor Beach in this one night. So I raced home from work, and we got down there at 11 p.m. And in comes Bobby and his group, who had the same.
It was a full moon night.
The eve of
rising over Salt Island. So you have to
Very
picture
special, very special.
Yeah, so the story goes, for the first couple of hours, he didn't pay much attention to me. He thought I was only 15. But a year to the date, we married, and we had our wedding out on the rocks at Race Chasm, which was...
I love it. I love it. So let's do a little fast forward. That sets the stage here, I think, for you, for both of you. Let's talk about your gallery, your sweet gallery in Rockport, which is such a destination, as I mentioned. Talk to me about the significance of your name and kind of how it all came about.
Okay, so in 1999, we moved back to Cape Ann permanently. So we were between Rocky Neck, which we thought was so artsy, and Rockport. And we were leaning towards East Gloucester, but we found a fabulous place on the Granite Pier. And it was this studio loft looking over Sandy Bay, and that became our creation space. And we really started painting and writing intensively. And then...
and it was March 20th, actually. We seem to follow the solstice, or the...
Yeah, you do.
I looked up, it was March 20th, 2005. And Bob writes every night. And when we first were married, he was like, I'm writing, so you need to do something. And I said I like to draw, so he bought me oil paints. And then he just kept giving me assignments.
She was a fabulous painter right from the start. But on one evening, I wrote this little missive, and I came up with this word iArt Colony, because everything was iPhone, iPad, whatever. back then.
Right.
And I was kind of being ironic and playing with it, but Jill liked it as a notion.
I was in marketing to begin with, so Apple was just.
So the I means independent, idealistic, and slightly irreverent. We play with that. But almost all of iArt Colony's creations and ideas, paintings, were formulated in the early 2000s before we had this physical space, which we got in 2009.
And the I was really sort of internet, because we were sort of like, how can we find these brilliant, sincere artists and bring them to the forefront? Because it seems like you have to have a lot of money to be on Bearskin Neck or Newberry Street or know someone.
Right.
So we said, let's have an internet presence, find these people, do pop-up shows, and really try to, bring these people out. And then just by chance in 2009, the 50 millionth real estate sheet that our parents put in front of us was this property. And we drove from the restaurant here, looked in the window, and thought.
We knew right away that this was the place. Just right away. My mom's like, the living room, dining room, kitchen. No, gallery A, B, and C. We're going to figure this out. And, we've been doing that ever since.
And certainly that's the way it's played out. Yeah, that's the way it's played out. Tell me this. I'm just curious. Where is your primary living space? Or your bedrooms are upstairs, I'm assuming?
Yes, upstairs.
You do such a phenomenal job of just rearranging and making it all work. I mean, honestly, it's very impressive. We've rearranged our living rooms from day one, like it doesn't feel right. Let's break it up and put it all back together. So this was really a natural thing for us. And I can't imagine not having had all the experience leading up to it, but sort of on your notion of sort of where are we now is
yes.
For the last 10 years. So we opened the gallery in 2010 and we live up in this little bedroom. And then we spend most of our time in this little kitchen, which I finally painted red because I wanted to be in a red room. Oh. And in fact, the last painting I sold was painted by the refrigerator because the rest of the gallery had other people's work, so we couldn't really enter this.
Right.
So this specific moment is just giving us a chance to get back to ourselves and our own creative process, which really we spent so much time promoting and showcasing others and pushing shows. That we really were, our creative edge was, we weren't creating anymore.
Back then,
in the same capacity,
Bob's writing, he always says, like, I write songs, and it's philosophical prose, and, they're very spiritual and socially conscious, and that's where iArt Colony got built, and that's where all of our shows were built. All of those concepts came from Granite Street. And then we just sort of run with it. Started off with a show of just my paintings, which opened the gallery. And then we started inviting people in, like Bob Stevenson, who's a beloved native of Gloucester. That was wow. His paintings are sort of a cross between Dali and Wyeth. And that really kicked off us onto another level. And that's when we got involved in the School and Museum of Fine Arts. They brought us
2012.
Yeah,
which was very interesting because it really opened up another art world for us and really networked us and really we were able to bring something back to Cape Ann that they hadn't seen as much in recent years, you could say, anyway.
Right, which I find very refreshing. I mean, I've shared that with you before. I think you both are such a gift to Cape Ann in that sense, because you have been able to draw a new audience, a wider audience. You've been able to broaden the demographic here on Cape Ann, which I think is really great. And you also have acted as advisors and mentors to a lot of younger artists that are emerging. And I mean, how fabulous for them. How fabulous.
For us and for us.
One of the things we really focus on is every time we meet an artist that we just adore, we bring them up and we give them like a standard-ish 3-hour tour of Cape Ann. I always go to Pebble Beach, which is actually Cape Hedge, but it's all the pebbles.
Oh, I love Pebble Beach. Yeah.
Child memory of mine. And
yes.
And the Paint Factory, motif number 1, and just all those sort of nooks and crannies. And we just found this new amethyst vein out on Andrews Point, which is spectacular.
A sacred place, Kristine.
Very sacred. We'll show you the secret haunts.
I would like that. I would like that.
We find new haunts every year. We've been here, for 50 years.
It is amazing to think that it's been 50 years.
It's a magical place. I think we can all.
It is a magical place. It's a real gem, and I think it also draws so many interesting creatives too. Creative thinkers.
One of the things that we did it was around March 10th, I think, the NBA canceled the season, and we thought, whoa, this is serious. And so that's when I realized, you know, people probably aren't going to be coming into this gallery anytime soon. And we sort of thought we could actually live and take over any space we want in the house. And so we took the front gallery and we rearranged it with some of our favorite artists. And then this painting up here, I'll just show you. So this was something I painted probably in 2003. And that's Bobby in our Granite Street apartment at his desk, and that's Jack Sabbath. And
you're not supposed to say.
so we sort of gave him, this is the center of our front gallery. So he's our anchor. There's an Aber Sparrow version somewhere around here too. But one of the things, see, I'm a self-taught artist, and the way I taught myself how to paint was I'd be on a painting and I'd do some kind of flourish, and it would remind me of an older painting, and I'd go and find it and bring it out. What did I do then? And that's how I progressed. And so when we came here, all of my older paintings, or ones that we cherish and keep, were sort of stored away. So we've just, you know, unpacked for the first time. His writings have come down, and they've just been so prescient, you know, in time.
Jill's paintings right now too, you know, they're so imbued with meaning and relevancy for the moment. Look at her a little bit as an apocalyptic painter to some extent, the way she plays with, you know, her color palette and subject matter, and there's like a spiritual side to her painting.
Figures come out in the painting.
I see that, and also just so dynamic. I mean, they're so rhythmic, your painting work.
Thank you.
Thank you. It sounds to me, when we talked earlier, you both have been creating a way. I mean, Bob, you were talking about that because you spend so much of your time really supporting and lifting up younger talent, right?
Yes.
Or talent of any age, you know, who are on their journey. Yeah. And this time is giving you that pause to really kind of step back and use it for yourself, right? So you have to.
Yes, I'm a text-based artist during the coronavirus. That's my new talent.
This is a perfect lead-in to talking about what's next for you. So why don't we talk about Demonology, a love story?
I love that.
I see it all over Facebook.
I don't know if you can see this. Well,
this is our cue.
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. I like that, guys.
About 900 of these cards had been handed out prior to the pandemic.
Oh my
and
goodness.
We had another 900 we were going to hand out and decided not to. And so we temporarily postponed the show without announcing a future date.
But really realized that demonology has become a virtual reality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's playing out before our eyes. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Our hopes and fears for it are unraveling right now. And we're all getting a very big lesson in it.
Mm-hmm. So it was supposed to take place on June 20th, the summer solstice at 5:44 p.m. But we're going to do a symbolic gesture on social media and have two of our performance artists deliver pre-recorded video.
We try to play with these ideas. So demonology sounds dark and scary, but we really always try to have this healing aspect to it and really show the light. So even though we teased out demonology, we really were going to promote and showcase those who really hold great lights, you know, and bring that community together, strengthen the community of light. And all the dark will really fall away.
So it's the darkest show on the lightest day.
Yes.
And that's where we're going to
balance
the energies.
Following Commune, which was the first show we filled the whole backyard and driveway with tents and had Reiki healing and virtual augmented reality and a live painter. And it was just, we just wanted to bring everyone in. There's a friend of ours who's handicapped, and I said, you can come to our show. I have a living room in my driveway. And it was just really special. And people said, how are you going to top this? And we thought, I don't know, you know, and we're just morphing now. And so we're, you know, anxious a little bit about the future, but also really very hopeful, because this is giving us the opportunity to step back, breathe, regather all of our thoughts and take it to the next level.
Right, and rejuvenate and regroup. I think that's a positive note for us to wrap this up on.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, both of you, Jill and Bob, Bob and Jill. We're one.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Can I say one more thing, Kristine? So he said we're going to launch on social media. So the summer solstice at 5:44 p.m. on June 20th. It's a Saturday.
Yes.
And it's going to start with Monica Lindmanowski. She's going to do just a 2-minute recitation about the light. And she's an alumni of the School and Museum of Fine Arts, which we found during Out of Bounds that we put on in 2014, that a great portion of Cape Ann artists also went to the School and Museum of Fine Arts.
Like Aldro Hibbard.
Yep. And Hudson and Eric Hudson. And so we found this really incredible lineage, and it's an incredible school that really promotes,
but with strong Cape Ann ties. We should also mention.
So the head of the library at SMFA at Tufts, Darren Murphy, he will then pick up where Monica leaves off, and we don't know what he's going to say. It will be magical.
He's also fascinating and someone to watch. Really,
don't miss it. We'll record it.
I love it. I love it. Well, we count on you two. You know that.
Well, we thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we appreciate this time, and we appreciate what you guys are doing there. 1623.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Fabulous.
You bet.
So.
You bet. Well, thank you for being such tremendous ambassadors, really, for the arts and culture here in Cape Ann and in Boston as well. I want to say I'm Kristine Fisher. I want to thank everybody for watching. This particular program will be aired on 1623 Studios social media platforms. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Channel 12. Thanks so much, everyone. See you next time.